Hi guys, I hope we're all keeping well. So today we're going to start the video with a happy birthday to Prince George. Today is the 22nd of July and Prince George turns 9. I actually can't believe it. It was only like yesterday, I suppose, where, the photographs came with Catherine and William, proud parents, their firstborn child, stood outside on the Lindo Wing steps celebrating, the world celebrated with them. Big Ben was chiming, loads of buildings around London and I think around the world all lit up blue in celebration. And it just seems absolutely crazy when you look at the photographs here. One of my friends on Twitter did this lovely collage. 9 years has flown by. We had an official portrait released by the Cambridges for the media celebrating his 9th birthday. This was recently taken on a holiday in the UK. Naturally, the photograph was taken by the Duchess of Cambridge, Prince George's mother herself, and he just looks like a real mixture. I'm very torn here. I see a lot of Prince William, obviously, and then I can really see the Middleton, especially Catherine's father, Michael Middleton. So yeah, really strong mix of those genes with George. So a big fat happy birthday to Prince George on his 9th birthday. I'm sure that his family will make sure that he has a wonderful day. In my previous video, I obviously discussed the whirlwind, very expensive one-day trip to New York for Harry to do his UN speech and for Meghan to set up lots of paparazzi shots by the looks of it as well. But I caught in the evening that they went out and they'd eaten out with friends. The friends is probably a very small number of people these days. But they went to a well-known restaurant owned by Robert De Niro in the Tribeca area of New York. Now, more stories have actually come out about this eventful evening out, and it goes further than Meghan's expensive outfit. Reports are that they had phoned ahead to the restaurant and asked to have a section of the restaurant cleared out, which the restaurant said no. Again, this is something that we've heard behaviour before. We've seen it at Wimbledon. We heard about it happening in Vancouver Island, where they wanted at Christmas to get the restaurant to kick out all these people that had pre-booked their Christmas family meals out for them. And we more recently had the story come out that residents call her the Princess of Montecito because she does this at local restaurants and indeed the surrounding areas when she goes out. She likes to ring ahead and section off whole parts of the restaurants for herself and whoever she's with. So they tried it with this restaurant. They were told no. They obviously weren't put off, and maybe because Meghan couldn't rearrange the paparazzi shots to turn up, but they still went to this restaurant, who reportedly sat them in the middle of the restaurant. Now, what proceeded then is where I have titled this video, a goon squad. The security reportedly either told the restaurant staff to tell patrons this, or they went round and told them this, that if anyone in the restaurant dare take a photograph of the couple and their friends, then they would be ejected from the restaurant. I mean, excuse me? I'm not shocked that they would dare actually do something like that, as we saw, as I said, with Wimbledon, that poor guy that was just trying to take a selfie with the court behind him because it was an epic day. Serena Williams coming on to play, and Meghan gets her security to come over and say, no, no, no. Can you imagine? It's not exactly a cheap restaurant either. I think it's like $100 per head roughly. But there were reportedly people sat next to them on a table that were having a birthday celebration. What do you do at birthday celebrations? Especially now that everyone's got their camera phones, you take pictures. And reportedly, their security was stalking around the restaurant, making sure that no one took photographs of the couple in the centre of the restaurant. So that means anyone that dared pick up their phone was probably intimidated by some big burly guy who comes trundling over. This is absolutely disgusting behaviour. Again, if this is true, but there's been no denial by the restaurant, so that tells you something, doesn't it? This is Harry that used to go to local pubs surrounding where he lived in his various homes in the Cotswolds and, in Kensington and stuff. They used to literally, all right, they'd have a royal protection officer with them, but this is Harry that used to skulk out and about in London. And now he's behaving like this. We know it's not Harry. We know it's Meghan that is organising this, loving this. That's why he literally had to drag her as she's turning over her shoulder. At one point, you thought she was going to do The Exorcist, turning around, making sure they got their shots. But that is, that's Meghan. That's what this has all been about. This is what she loves. But to behave that way in a restaurant, one, to phone ahead and to get people that have booked tables kicked out, Why would you do that for another person that rang up? No, which means they're using their status and who they are. It's the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, it's Prince Harry. So it's obvious that they're still using their royal titles for some sort of privilege and clout. But if I had been in that restaurant, I think I would have just waited to the very end when you go to pay the bill and then quickly run past the table, photobomb as my husband did the page, leg it out the restaurant or be escorted out and be like, oh, whoops, I didn't get a chance to pay. Oh no, Harry and Meghan will have to pay for my bill. So obviously this is truly shocking behaviour, and it's shocking for people that live in New York. I've got a couple of friends that live in New York, and they're like, you see famous people out all the time eating in restaurants. As I said, this was a high-end restaurant, you know, it wasn't like Mackie D's or something. And people are used to that, and they don't sit there and take, you know, pictures of people. It's rude for a start. But Meghan and Harry seem to be using security, or the GOONS squad, for status. It's very much attention drawing, having all these big burly men outside, SUVs everywhere, people coming over, you know, don't take your phone out, did you take a picture? And it's done for status, it's not done for safety. She's behaving like she's some sort of gangster's mole, with all these security guards going around doing her bidding. We're important, didn't you know? But from what I'm hearing and seeing from Tom Bower's book, Meghan's definitely had this type of behaviour long before Harry. Now, speaking of the book, Revenge, I got it through the post last night, so I'm very excited. I'm not going to be discussing it in this video because I want to read it over the weekend, because there's so many excerpts, there's people manipulating some of the storylines that are in it. I'm seeing a story come out at the moment that Camilla was the racist that said that Harry and Meghan were going to have a ginger afro baby. Tom Bower didn't actually say that. What he said was there's many versions of this story. Meghan and Harry's version, manipulated versions, it depends what narrative they're trying to sell. That's not the wording that Tom Bower's used, but, you know, he wasn't saying Camilla said that, so it's not true. So this is where I want to read the book myself without anyone else's influence, and then I'm going to break it down into a couple of videos for you next week. Just the bullet points. I mean, from most of the excerpts that I've seen so far, I've already done videos about it. So there's lots of people, including myself, that have been reporting on all these stories that have come out that Tom Bowers is confirming. And we knew about it, and people called us liars, and we were all these hateful people. And if anything, we're feeling kind of validated right now because Tom Bowers has spoken to real sources. Every detail of that book will be solicitor backed up because he will not allow himself to get sued over misinformation. So there's certain things that he even said he couldn't print because he couldn't back it up. So that should tell you everything. And as for Harry and Meghan behaving like that, I mean, it's not going to do Meghan's political run when that happens any good. In fact, I don't think it does either of their reputations any good when they're up there, as I said, talking about equality. It's not exactly down to earth. Now, speaking of Earth, if some of you got that cue, the Earthshot Prize has been announced for 2022, and it's in Boston. And I've got a friend in Boston who I can tell you is probably physically doing cartwheels, and oh, how amazing. So here's a brief advertisement clip from Prince William.
In 2022, we're back and bringing Earthshot to the USA, where we'll award the next 5 winners a prize.
And we will be doing it right here in Boston.
How amazing would it be to be able, if you live in the Boston area, especially for my friend, if you can get tickets to to actually go there and be, you know, part of it. I mean, it's pretty cool. It is very, very cool. So obviously the Earthshot, it was a nod to the moonshot by President Kennedy, and I think it's absolutely fantastic that they're going to Boston. I don't know if it's a ticketed thing, but you know, if anyone in Boston can find out, let me know. Now, some of you guys have said to me, why is it that I am anti-Harry and Meghan, with Harry doing the speeches, obviously, on saving the planet? Well, he doesn't really talk about saving the planet, you know, but, you know, all the carbon footprint and stuff. Yet I am really supportive of Prince William and the Earthshot Prize. Because they're worlds apart, it's two different things. A story came out recently where Catherine and William were seen getting on the royal helicopter to probably where the Prince George birthday picture was taken. They were going on a short summer break with the children. And people were like, yeah, Prince William preaches Earthshot Prize, but there he is going off in a helicopter. Okay, so firstly, One of the things, the Queen owns the helicopter. This isn't like hiring a private jet every time. The Queen owns the helicopter, so it's just fuel and I guess the salary for the pilot as of when they need it. William and Catherine also do not get on stage and tell us that we shouldn't fly. We need to be careful of flying, where we should go on holiday, unlike what Harry does. So that's very, very different. Secondly, you've got the fact that Catherine and William, despite being the actual future king, Harry, can you hear that, king of the UK, and Catherine the Queen consorts, they fly commercial a lot of the time. They are often seen getting off at the airport, and they do literally share aeroplanes with everyone else. Again, it's somewhat different. Catherine and William drive their children to school themselves. Yes, they do have a personal protection officer in the vehicle with them, of course they would, but they do not have a motorcade of several security guards, massive SUVs following them everywhere. When they go to official events, that's different, but they don't do that when they go to, say, a pub or an evening out with friends to a restaurant. Catherine and William still go out and about by themselves. They're often seen doing normal things, going to, a stationery shop to buy stuff for their kids for the next school term. So, I mean, that is one huge thing. Secondly, what the Earthshot Prize about for me, it's actually about saving the planet, and it's not all this crap about carbon emissions and stuff. Yes, carbon emissions are real, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to anyone talking to me about carbon emissions, about what you and I as the average person can do when you've got places like China and India, and we are still buying stuff from them that are pumping billions and billions of it up into the air. What I do care about for me is bees, nature, plants, saving different species, saving corals, cleaning up the ocean. As I've said to you before, I'm a scuba diver. The amount of pollution when I am diving or even swimming, when I went to Spain recently, I was in the sea, there were several cruise ships that had come past. Not long after, there was rubbish in the water. I was picking bits of plastic out of my hair. This is what the Earthshot Prize is about. It's about positivity. It's about bringing stuff together, things that we can all do. It's about getting scientists to develop solutions to slow down the damage that is being done to the planet. It's about saving things, species of animals, fish, things that you want your children to grow up and see. I'm seeing so much stuff more in schools where they're getting kids into nature and stuff again, like they did when I was at school. And I think it's amazing. Earthshot Prize is about hope and positivity and things that we can all do to make our planet a nicer place for future generations. That's the best way that I can explain it. Harry, Travalyst, was going to be a charity, if you remember. It's not. Harry earns money from Travalyst. Harry has linked up Travalyst with Google. Remember Google? All the rich people, the yachts, the supercars. Yeah. Now, other things with Travalyst. Travalyst is now going to be like a trip advisor thing where you, the person, when you go on holiday, can be rated on how you behaved and the carbon footprint that you left. Oh yeah, great. That's going to make a real change to the world. I'm not being funny, but who's going to really care about that, rating travellers? And the other thing, they're talking about that people should only travel to these ethical holiday hotspots, which the average person is not going to be able to afford. And secondly, I think we can all take a guess that these amazing ethical holiday spots will no doubt have paid a fee to Travalyst for them to be advertised on their lists. I'm not stupid. We're not stupid. Anyone with a brain cell can see what is happening there. And it proves with Harry again, everything seems to be interlinked with money. William, the video clip I showed you, he is talking positive. It's a delight watching the videos. They make me smile. Harry, give him a microphone. He is a suction cup of emotions. He is Prince Gloom and Doom. He's so negative. The world's in pain, the suffering. You listen to 5 minutes of Harry, you feel depressed yourself. He literally, there's no solutions. There's no, what are we going to do about it? There's not praising the things that have been done, the great things that people are doing to make changes. No, Harry's just, we're all doomed. Doomed, I tell you. And he's making money off of this. He's making money out telling the world that we're all doomed, we're all suffering, we all need therapy, we all need life coaching. We know recently it was in the news that Harry had linked BetterUp, the company that he's the chimpo of, that he gets a salary from reportedly. And he's linked that up now with the Invictus Games, getting rid of Help for Heroes. BetterUp have joined forces with Salesforce. Salesforce recently have partnered with the Diana Award that it seems only Harry is the one that gives speeches to. Salesforce also own Time magazine. Remember the cover? Remember the spread? Are you seeing the links? And guess who else Salesforce own? Global Citizen. Harry and Meghan's Vax speech is Harry on stage. It's all one big murky puddle, and it's all the same. I've said it before, it's a bunch of, I know it's offensive to snakes, but it's a bunch of snakes slithering in the same pits. Harry, I believe, has sadly sold his soul. All the favours from the billionaires that are all linked to all of these companies, the Russian oligarchs that they've been linked to for Canada and the house that they've got in Montecito, these huge corporations. They might be giving him a steady income, and they might be giving Meghan the lifestyle that she feels she deserves and has always dreamed of. But you've got to pay the piper. And I think this is what we're seeing with Harry. People are saying it's just Meghan sucking the life out of him. I think the lifestyle is sucking the life out of him. Part of the royal family, he got freebies. Now these freebies come at a cost, they come at a price. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. And this is where you're seeing it. So yeah, Harry's Travalyst and saving the planet while firing around the world in a private jet and SUVs for them and their entourage, and comparing that to William's Earthshot Prize, I think it's completely worlds apart. So again, with Harry saying about his father and his brother are trapped in this awful dark circle of suffering, and Harry is now free, I think I'd rather be in his version of trapped than his version of freedom. What about you guys? So the Tom Bowers book, as I said, reading it over the weekend, and I will start making out points. I don't know what the videos are going to come out like. Like I said, I've covered a lot of the topics, but it would be good to obviously have certain things confirmed and rehashed. So I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I will be back with you very soon. Take care for now. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typists, you will be blocked, so save your fingers the time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.